What's going on, guys? JPP Duel here. Hope you guys are enjoying your Friday. And for today's matchup, I'm bringing you an Adventures Pranks versus a Scrap Orcust, with my opponent playing Scrap Orcust going first. Now, with Scrap Orcust, they mainly rely on sending cards to their graveyard to activate their effects, and then special out cards using those effects. Dark Dark Grepher is a card that sends a dark monster from the hand to the graveyard, and its second effect is that it sends a dark monster from their deck to the graveyard as well. I did not want that happening, so I Ash Bloods on the Dark Grepher. My opponent normals out the Ziamine. I proceed to imperm the Ziamine because I did not know if he was running the full Punk engine or not. When I looked at his deck at the end of the game, he was not running the full Punk engine, but that's okay. He goes into his Crystron Hulk, gets a tuner on the field, goes into Galaxy. Now this is the monster you absolutely want to get rid of when you are playing against Scrap Orcust. It is one of their main monsters, and I believe it's limited to one in Master Duel. So then he puts the Omni Negate on the field, which is the Orcust Crescendo, and I was hoping for him to not do this, but he did it anyways. He went into Predaplant to go into his DPE. I had no way of negating this, but that's okay. He gets the DPE on the field, activates his field spell, and he will end his turn right here. So my opponent, what he has on the field right now is a non-targeted destruction plus an Omni Negate on the field. So if you guys don't know what the Orcust Crescendo is, it reads: when a spell, trap card, or monster effect is activated, if you control a Orcust Link monster, which is the Galaxy, you can negate the activation and banish that card. So it basically had one Omni on field as long as the Galaxy is on the field. So it's all going to depend on what I'm going to draw into. Drew into Fancies, which is pretty bad in and of itself. First of all, activate Harpies, get rid of the Omni, hoping that maybe he will not use his DPE to pop my first normal card I summon, which he does not. The biggest mistake my opponent did, biggest mistake on his part. So I keep going into my combo deeper and deeper. I'm thinking maybe he wants to pop my Doodle-Doo, does not pop it. Next up, I have to think maybe, just maybe, once I do my combo, he wants to pop my Pranks. So once I put Pranks on the field, maybe he wants to pop that. That way I cannot access full combo itself. So I put Pranks on the field, still does not pop it. So basically at this point I have full combo. I have full Butler combo, and he chose not to use his DPE whatsoever. Right here I go into battle phase once I put Barrel Bark. Then he proceeds to pop my Pranks. Basically, my recycle card, it's pretty important to me, but not that much at that point. So what I do is I go into Predaplant to go into my Butler. I do not want to go through the usual route of popping my Bow Bark on my opponent's turn, then go into my Butler, because I need to pop this card as soon as possible. I do not want him to keep this card on the field. He banishes the Crescendo, searches for the Gizmek Orochi, activates it, and puts it on the field. So right here, I did kind of a small misplay, if you guys consider it a small misplay. What I should have done is kept the Call by the Grave in my hand, because I knew his DPE would have popped itself at the end of my turn. I could have just activated Call by the Grave from my hand itself, and then banished the DPE and negated it. But what I did was set it down on the field, because I wanted it to pop on his turn and not on my turn. He could have drawn into a crossout to negate that, and that was where the misplay comes in. So let's see if he draws into a crossout. Turn change, my opponent's draw phase, and during the draw phase, I activate Call by the Grave and banish the DP itself, and I pop my opponent's field. Why? Because his Gizmek Orochi. His Gizmek Orochi, since it was specialed out on my turn, not on his turn, he could activate the second effect of you can banish 3 cards from your extra deck face down, then target one face-up monster on the field, destroy it. You could only do this during the main phase. You cannot do the Gizmek effect on draw phase or standby phase. So I had to pop it right then and there, because I did not go through my Bow Bark to put my Butler on the field. So my Butler was not immune to destruction through card effects. That's the reason why I had to pop his card on his draw phase and can't wait till his main phase. So I do this just that. DPE activates, puts the Denier on the field. Denier will recycle the DPE that was banished out, but I'm okay with that. Now this guy draws into his combo starter card, which was the Foolish Burial. He throws away a Harp Horror in the graveyard, then gets all the activation, gets the Galaxy on the field again, So at this point, I'm forced to pop my butler again. Denier comes back on the field. Horror banishes itself to special out the Nightmare on the field. He goes into IP Mask from that, activates the Nightmare, banish, throws away the World Wand, activates it, gets the Harp Horror on the field, and the Gizmek Orochi comes on the field again as well. So I basically have nothing on the field aside from Predaplant, and at the end of it all, if this wasn't enough, he puts this freaking card on the field. Now look at my life points. I am literally left with 100 life points. So Topological Zeroboros, it's a really annoying card. It's basically a Zeus. As long as you special to a point it points to, or special a card to a point there where a link card points to, it will banish everything on the field, including itself, and during the next standby phase, it'll special itself on the field. So it's a Zeus, but better, is what I'm getting at. A really annoying card for me to deal with. So my opponent had a way to special out card on the field. He had the Gizmek in his graveyard. So he could activate the Gizmek. Gizmek is a quick effect. They could activate it, and he could special it out to a zone this card points to and banish everything on the field. So I was hoping that he would not do it before I get my Dropsy's activation. So why am I saying before Dropsy's activation? Because I drew into Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion requires you to pay 1000 life points to activate. I am at 100 life points. As long as my Dropsy goes through, and then he activates the Zeroboros by putting the Gizmek on the field, I would have been able to push past that by going into Rocket Ride and continue on with my combo. But sadly, he does not do that. Watch what he does. I'm going through my combo steps. So first of all, I have to go into my Nightmare. Nightmare has to bounce the Zeroboros. I cannot allow him to get the Zeroboros activation. So I go into Nightmare and watch how I played. I never summoned the cards over here or anywhere under the Link Monster my Link Monster points to. I always summoned out cards away from the zones my Link Monster pointed to because I did not want this card getting activated. So Nightmare bounces it. He did not use the Gizmek to put it on the field to activate the Zeroboros effect. Apparently, he did not want to use it. So I go into my combo. Again, I'm using my life points as a resource. I don't care too much about the life points because my opponent has no way to burn me. So I use it as a resource, go into my Rocket Ride, activate it, put Bow Wow plus Doodle-Doo on the field. Doodle-Doo tributes itself, gets my pranks to my hand, go into battle phase, which then prompts him to activate his Gizmek, put it on the field. We don't care about this. I cancel my attack, end my turn, activate pranks, recycle 3. At this point, I basically have Butler again. So no matter what my opponent does, I could use my Butler, wipe out his field twice because I do have Miamu in the graveyard. I did not recycle my Miamu. I was hoping that maybe I could end the game this turn itself. He activates the Gizmek, pops my Unicorn. I don't care about it. That means his pop is gone from the Gizmek. I could go into my combo afterwards. Go into my Butler, and this prompts an immediate surrender from my opponent. That's going to be the end of the game, guys. If you guys do like this kind of videos, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing to my channel for more daily prank and video uploads, and if you guys are interested in a live version of all of this, I do live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/jpbduel. Link along with my schedule is going to be in the video description itself for you guys to check out. This is JPBDuel signing off for today. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace!